it's like a mix, combination between using the AI and traditional resource like myself to scan and filter the CVs. Adaptation or adaptability in recruitment area. It comes as waves and it depends on the markets, the trends, the changes of the workforce, the job market. So anything can like change and like, flows really quickly or too slow. Then you need to be ready
Mm.
to adapt and find like new solutions or strategies for it anytime.
สวัสดีทุกคน Welcome to Mr. HR, a platform to talk about HR and workplace matters. And today it's my privilege to have such a very exclusive guest right here with me, Mimi. Hey, well, so first of all, let me tell you once. Mimi and myself have known each other for quite some time through our volunteership programs. And
Yeah.
I realized that Mimi is also in HR area. And when I thought of having this program, Mimi, it's my top of mind to be right here sharing her meaningful experience related to HR and careers.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Atui, and I'm very happy to be here. So thanks for having me. My name is Mimi. However, my full name is Ubiankam Pomazak. Of course, I'm from Laos, Vientiane capital. At the moment, I'm living in Krakow, Poland, and it's gonna be my 6th year here. So it's been quite some time because I started off from studying my bachelor degree in international relations, but the main focus was on international business, trade, and marketing. And once I graduated in 2021, I found a job in Krakow. It's been 3 years now that I'm working after my studies here.
Or maybe you can share us a little bit. How has that started?
My career here, especially in recruitment areas, started because during my last academic year, I was trying to find an internship, and it was one of the requirements in order to graduate, apart from the thesis and exams, etc. And it was during lockdown, still like 2020, and it was in the end of the year, and it was quite like difficult to find one, to be honest, especially the fully remote. And fortunately, I got this internship as a junior recruitment specialist for 4 months. It was fully remote. And that was my first time getting to work and being exposed to the industry. After that, when I finished my studies, my first plan was, just flying back home. But due to some other factors and also laws at the time were still restraints or policies. I don't know about
Mm.
COVID-19. So I decided to look for a job here instead during that time. And I got this one as a recruiter. It's been, almost 3 years.
So you started there as internships.
Yeah, internship led me to this career path. It's
And
like
how do you like it so far?
I quite enjoy it, I would say. Recruitment, when it comes to work volume, it comes as waves. Sometimes, you have a lot of things to do, depends on the many requisitions and positions you have. Also, how the market situation is as well. It also gives me some flexibility at work and very fun to get to see and talk to many people from different expertise, different nationalities and cultures even. So yeah.
What's like the unique beauty about this career as a recruiter in Europe?
First of all, would be getting to talk to people from different countries, especially from Europe, because my scope is focusing on recruiting for Western European countries and sometimes in Poland as well. So I would say it's quite broad. And nowadays, I'm recruiting for companies, the life science, nutritional and health, even beauty and perfumery industries. So it gives me an opportunity to learn the new sectors and also to get to know, build connections and
Mm.
networks with people from those industries. So it's quite interesting. And also my team is quite multicultural and diverse. It gives me a great working experience because we comes from different backgrounds and cultures, but we really have a very nice collaborative working atmosphere and very supportive as well towards each other. So I'm grateful for that.
Fantastic. I trust that throughout your 3 years, right, as a recruiter, you would have a chance to connect to a lot of people, like hiring
Yeah,
managers,
exactly.
viewing, to a lot of
A
roles
lot
and
of
profile qualification. And you just mentioned earlier that you are not only specifically focusing on one particular country, but multiple
yes,
countries in Europe as well. And I
yes,
trust that there may be differences in terms of the talent landscapes, profiles, and all those stuffs, right? Can you
yeah.
share us a little bit about like talent landscape, in particular to candidates or the role
Mhm.
expectations, right? In Europe.
Course, as you mentioned, it might be broad in terms of scope and landscape if we talk about the Europe in as a region. But I
Mm,
can raise some examples that nowadays there's a lot of like workforce mobility within the European Union countries. And also, there's a growth in non European employees as well, depending on the areas of the job and the niche experience that the employers are looking for. If I could raise an example, would be Poland and also some other countries like Hungary or even Czech Republic and more. The BPO or business process outsourcing services are very popular in these countries because the employers are looking to reduce the cost, be more agile in their business. So they're trying to make the process to be automated as much as possible by using, outsourcing services and
mm,
also using AI, of the Internet of Things, cloud computing, etc., to make the process as agile and automated to reduce the cost. So I would say Poland, there are a lot of international companies and employers who are using the BPO or the outsourcing services here. But recently, maybe a year ago, I started to see that those international employers have some employees laid off. So the current talent market or landscape at the moment, I would say there are more of the job seekers
mm.
when there's a deficit in the job market. So when talent market is bigger than the job market, I would say the favor would be with the employers nowadays.
What about the roles? For example, in Laos and Cambodia, we find it so much difficult to get someone
Mm.
from manufacturing experience because we have less factories in Laos. What about in your responsible market? What are the most difficult roles to
And
find?
to be honest, I happen to work in the scientific based sector. I mean, recruit for them. Some of the roles are also very engineering, scientific based. I would raise an example. I used to have one role. We're looking for a scientist who has very specific and niche skills and experience. Let's say, for example, eco-toxicologist in aquamarine for some manufacturers of like food or nutrition area. And the location is in Norway, which according to the market research, Norway doesn't really have like a big, talent market in general. And when we talk about this specific niche area or experience we're looking for, it makes it more difficult. Plus, the
Mm,
location, for example, if the location is it's within the isolated land, for example, it makes it even, more challenging to find someone. In that case, it depends on the hiring team, right? Like the hiring managers, if they are open to bring someone outside Norway or even outside European countries and willing to support or sponsor the visas and even relocation
mm,
packages. then it might be possible. If not, then it would be really, really hard to find someone local there with such niche skill sets and experience.
See. So it's a combination of the requires skills and also
Mm.
sometimes the locations as well that we are
Yeah,
expecting that
exactly.
role to be based. Okay. Coming back to you personally, have you experienced any culture shocks as allowed citizens working
Yeah.
outside of your countries, right? Anything that you find, oh, it's a big culture differences.
First of all, when I started off with my full-time job as a recruiter here, I did it fully remotely.
Mm,
And after a year or two, they started to call the employees to come back to the office, and that was my first time, really working on site in a traditional
mm,
office environment. At first, I need to really try to adapt to see my colleagues in real life, and build the connections with them, etc. At first, it was not easy, but it's been some time now, so I'm quite adapted to it. Here, they have like the individualism kind of culture
mm,
rather than collective culture when comparing to Laos. For example, when it comes to lunchtime, let's say people just
right.
have their own plates and eat by themselves. So um, so I would say in that aspect is different. Talking about my company and where I'm working specifically, there are not a lot of like activities where it will gather employees and the teams together to spend time and build connections much. Also because the fact that most of my teams are based outside of Poland, for example, in
Mm,
Spain or Switzerland, UK.
right.
Um, so it's quite specific and depends.
So it's really about a cultural difference, especially
Yes,
on how we live our life as a Laos, community
yeah,
compared to other countries, which
exactly.
they value privacy more. That I would
Mhm.
in that sense.
Exactly.
I maybe you can think of one experience that you find it's very very hard. It can be finding the roles, or it can be
Mm,
engaging with your stakeholders,
mm.
anything, you find it's very challenging moments that you have faced, yeah, throughout your journey.
So I would say challenges I faced at work recently, especially as a recruiter, right? First of all, would be clients' expectation management, and the second one would be the deficit or shortage of like talents or candidates.
Mm,
The third one would be like time to hire or time to fill, because at my work we have like certain KPIs, right, to measure the performance and delivery outcome. So they set certain deadline for
mm,
once you open the roles or positions, that it's an ideal or excellent if you manage to close the positions by a certain date, for example, after
I see.
45 days of opening. So let's talk about clients' expectation management. That sometimes it could be, challenging because some not candidates, but some hiring managers might have some the unrealistic expectations, which are not
Mm,
suitable for what we're looking for in certain markets, right? And also, different managers have different ways of working, cultures and backgrounds. In that case, of course, I will try. I try my best to learn and understand better what their needs are, and to have them clearly define the position and the ideal candidate they're looking for,
mm,
and try to advise if the expectations are not unrealistic, and if and if not realistic, then I try to bring up the real case studies, or like the research that the insights or data that I have from the market research, and
Mm.
advise if you have any alternatives, other solutions that we are open for. And of course, regular follow-ups, meetings with them, and trying to be supportive as much as I can. Yeah. And
I see.
yeah, the second one would be the candidates shortage.
Mhm.
As I mentioned um, previously about the roles that are really hard to fill, and finding the right candidates in the market. So yeah, some positions like that, of course, would require me to start, proactive hunting and sourcing on different, platforms. For example, LinkedIn is the main one, and
Mm.
yeah, so I would try my best to search for such candidates, and if not, then we might include some other strategies, like the local hunting agency working with them in Palo, for example. And the last one would be time to hire. This one, it refers to the previous like shortage of candidates, I would say. Yeah, because this could be the main obstacle to for me to close the positions, because we don't have the right
Mm.
candidates. And also sometimes when I have like a very high volume of workload, um, it could be a challenge for me to fulfill this time to hire.
So you have mentioned about, the challenges, especially the roles that are very hard to find in the market, right? What about the hot roles in the market where you have a
Mm,
lot of profiles coming in?
mm,
Do you have any techniques to share? How you filter the candidates? For example, you have like hundreds or thousands of CV. What are the mechanisms that you use in order to filter the best candidates?
I can raise one example. For example, one of the hot roles in the industry that I'm recruiting for is the within the perfumery sector. For
Mm.
example, fine fragrance manager, and especially if this role is open in France or Belgium or Switzerland, which the market is pretty big, and the talent market is pretty big. Um, so I remember almost every time we have this kind of position open, we have loads and loads of applications, and uh, it's not that most of them are not relevant. Most of them has some relevant skills. However, in order to um, get the strong profiles, and also we have, let's say, hundreds of applications. I have also other positions to take care of. I have no time to you know review so everything like so in details. I would use the keywords, the important requirements of the job, let's say, to scan through the CV. And also we have an AI application tracking system where it can help
Mm.
us enhance the CVs as well, and will provide the summary, like
Mm.
these CVs, how many percent relevant to our job or positions. So that could help as well. However, there's also some cons, that the system is not 100% accurate to what we're aiming for. So it's like a mix, combination between using the AI and also the traditional resource, like myself, to uh, to scan and filter the CVs.
Mm. Wow, it seems like AI nowadays has become such an
Yeah.
influential part of our life, no? And
Right.
if I were to put fact on the table, from my experience, I think Laos is still far behind in terms of automations, applying AI into our work, right, compared to
Mhm.
Europe. Um,
Yeah.
what are the system or process or anything you find it can be a good example that Laos market can consider?
From my experience, I got a chance to use several different application tracking systems.
Mm,
Let's say Workday or Career Hub or Talent Suit, etc. It's like, sorry,
mm,
these are the names of the tools that
right.
we're talking about. Um, I so far find Workday and Career Hub tools very interesting and helpful for recruitment management, because
Mm-hmm.
these systems can help us organize and manage better, especially when we have like a long list of applications and CVs. And it also provides you to create a very organized candidates pipeline,
Mm,
and that's very helpful because, for example, um, if this position you cannot find any relevant candidates at all, then you can keep them for the future positions that they could be matching and relevant. You put them into your clients, not clients, candidate
mm,
pipeline, and
right.
come back to them again. So yeah, that's very in cool. That's very cool function, I would say.
So it seems like, in European countries, they apply like quite a number of how to say tools in order to
Yes,
simplify the process and making sure
right.
that the quality data are in place. So that what you were saying. After hearing very interesting, context and insights, right, about the role of recruitment in Europe, the talent landscape, the challenges, opportunities, and everything that we have discussed so far, some people may now be interested in maybe following this step to become a recruiter,
Hmm.
maybe outside of Laos or maybe within the country, right? Do you have any suggestion, any tips, right, that for them to prepare to become an effective recruiter from your
Yeah.
experience?
If anyone who is listening right now and consider that you might, jump in recruitment area as a career path, I would say the important skills are mostly interpersonal skills.
Mm,
Let's say the important ones, of course, communication skills, which is crucial to any kind of like jobs and areas, right? And
I agree.
also, yeah, negotiation skill, time management, right? And also relationships building, because you'll be working with different stakeholders, especially your candidates, your hiring managers, HR, business partner, etc. So this skill is very important, and also being able to juggle and jump around between tasks, like multitasking. And lastly, I would say adaptation or adaptability, because in recruitment area, it comes as waves, and it depends on the markets, the trends, the changes of the workforce, the job market. So anything can like change and like run and like flows really quickly or too slow. Then you need to be ready
Mm.
to adapt and um, uh, find like new solutions or strategies for it anytime. And yeah,
Wow.
and if you talk about like personalities and cultures are like um, suitable or a matching to recruitment positions, If you are a people person or extrovert, then it might be one of the suitable career choices that you can choose. If not, let's say if you're introvert, but you have like good socializing skills, communication skills, then that could help as well.
Because this role, it's basically, working with peoples. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
surrounded by people, you need to understand the expectation from your clients, the
Mm-hmm.
hiring managers, the
Yeah,
criteria, the candidates, and yourself
exactly.
as well, to what level that you can deliver, right? Based on those
Yeah,
expectations. Yeah.
yeah,
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm sharing.
yeah. If anyone wants to work abroad or,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I would say the first and foremost, the very important things is to have the proficiency, a good proficiency in languages. For example,
Mm,
English or any specific local language of the country that you want to work in. For example, could be if you want to go to France and French, right? And or if Spain, it's Spanish, or any other specific countries that require the local language. It would be the first gateway to work or study abroad. And the second one would be to set up a clear goal and or career path that you want to have. And
mm,
I would say do a lot of research, build connections, right, network, and keep searching for the opportunities because nowadays it's very globalized
right.
era, and anything is possible. So depends on what you are specifically looking for, and and yeah, sooner or later you will find mm, what
Cool. Just be ready for
you will
that.
find. Yeah.
Right, such a precise suggestion. Thank you so much. And now back to your personal thing, if you allow. um, since you are, I can say, of course, you have some friends there, no, but alone in the different cultures, partnering or engaging with different types of people. How do you manage your time, first of all? And
Mm.
secondly, is when you get pressured, what is your coping strategy?
Of course, it's not easy for me to adapt and blend in, not talking about only just work, but also life, personal life in general, social life here. It's not that easy to make like friends because, especially if we talk about local people, because of the culture.
Mm,
It's more like a individualism um, and people tend to be more close, comparing to like loud people. But once you get to know them and spend certain time and experience, they are very honest and open, very nice people, to be honest. So that's about let's say the community here. And when talking about work, yes, 9 to 5 job, working from Monday to Friday, it could be a lot, and sometimes when you have bad days at work or some things are not going well, then you might have carried those back home or, even like before going to sleep. Um, I used to experience such a, problem. However, these days I'm way better because I try to sort out um, which are under my control and which are
mm,
not, and try to do the separation of task. And that okay, is this something that I should be worried about? Is it my responsibility to um, you know uh, to think about it or worry about it? So I do that by, you know, trying to organize better at work.
Mm.
To Yes, and uh, to try not to work overtime by, having better time management, prioritize better, and know when to say no, and when you have, things and a lot on your plate, and try not to take things, personally at work, because work is just work. And after work, I have nothing to think about it. Just enjoy my, private life.
This is something, everybody can also apply, because sometimes we think too much, no, about thing that
Yeah,
is, something beyond our control, and sometimes we
exactly.
put pressure into ourselves. Yeah, which is a very good sharing. Thank you so much for sharing that. um just out of my curiosity, I'm not sure in Poland whether, the Lao community is big there, or, how do you socialize there for like 6 years already?
Interesting. um I would say one of the difficult things to leave here for me as a Lao person is that I discovered that, there's no big Lao community here, but I know that there's some people, Lao people who migrated to live in Poland, in Warsaw,
Mm,
but not a lot, comparing to France, let's say, or Hungary even, or
mm,
Germany. In Poland, not a lot of like Lao immigrants or people. Even in my city where I'm living, I've never even once, encountered a Lao person. So the communities here mostly are like Vietnamese. If we talk about, Southeast Asian communities, and Vietnamese,
mm,
or could be Thai, or Indonesian. So I have some friends, a lot of them from Vietnam, I would say. So that's also nice, because even though we don't talk to each other in the same language, right? I don't know Vietnamese, they don't know Lao, but I
mm,
found that it's quite easier for me to connect, because we have similar culture, even taste of, of food, and similar sense of humor, etc.
mm,
So yeah, but from time to time, my Lao friends who are living in Hungary also visited me, and vice versa. I visited them, so it's not bad.
mm.
But at the same time, I also try to connect with the local people, making friends, meeting new people. Um, but in order to have a proper friendship, it requires like efforts from both parties, right? So yeah. um, I would say at first when I came to study here, it's not that easy to make friends, because of the different cultures, totally new country for me, new food,
Mm.
and also language barriers. I don't know Polish. Nowadays, I can speak just a little bit because it's been 6 years, but I started to study Polish like not long ago, because before I would
Mm.
have no interest in learning the local language, because I thought that, after my studies, just gonna go back home, and my study was conducted in English. So that's why.
Invite me soon.
Okay, so thank you so
All
much
right. Thank you
for
so
today.
much, Mimi.
About
Thank you.
bye, see you.